Hey, thanks for hanging out. I'm Rachelle and you're listening to Thoughts About That. All right, y'all, I'm back. It has been a while, and today I just decided, like 2 hours ago, that I'm going to get up and come to record a podcast studio. So if you've been around, welcome back. If you're new, hello. This is only my second solo podcast episode. And I'll just say I'm in a much different place than I was the last time I was here. And I don't know, today I felt like talking about it. So here I am. So I'm just now getting settled into my new place after living with my now ex for 12 years. And so, yeah, I've done a complete 180 since the last time I've been here, and I'm glad to be back. But, I do worry, I am an oversharer by default. So, what is sharing too much? What is not sharing too much? What's just right? Just good enough. Well, let me back up. The podcast episode that we did on pleasure, red boots, and with our sexologist and health sex educator, Katasha Gordon, it was an outstanding episode. I got the most feedback from that episode, and that tells me a hell of a lot. I'm talking people that I've not talked to in a while, people that I've not ever talked to on social, responded to it. And it was my most viewed reel. I don't have some big following yet, but that topic, it seems that people really care about it, and myself included. That was a juicy podcast episode. So if you have not yet listened, please go back and listen, and come back and join me here. So yeah, since the last time I was here, I have since had a breakup from my long time husband, now living separately, divorcing, co-parenting, right? That's a whole thing, but that's not the only thing. I did come out on social media a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. I did come out to my family. That was a whole thing. I think sometimes when we see the things on social about pride and, solidarity for all humans queer, it's just we don't really think about the magnitude of the ripple effect of coming out and all the possibilities of rejection that you'll run into. Yeah, we may see it, but you never really know until you go through it. And some people, have less accepting families and friends than others. So there's also that. But I definitely have a mad respect for people that have gone before me, because yeah, I knew what I was facing, and some of the questions that I've been asked is well, why didn't you just stay? Nothing was terrible. And the reality is you can't stay. Well, you can, because I did for so long. Just it can't work if it can't work if I'm gay and I'm in a hetero relationship, right? I think for a time I did think I was bi. I did think I was bi for a time. Thanks to TikTok. TikTok will help you get your life. Well, TikTok and my cousin, because she totally was like, you fully just like women. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, no. Are you telling me my life is like blowing up and crumbling? She was like, my bad, cousin. But yeah, like, so shout out to cousin because, man, like, she helped me a lot through this process. Actually, I've had quite a bit of like support from people. And it's been amazing. Like it was like I said, oh, I'm done. Boom. The universe was like, here's all this help. I got boxes, tape, drinks, like people just came out of nowhere to just like help and help me to transition, and I'm just so grateful for my village, like hella grateful for my village. I think like if I had to start anywhere, right, about this big ordeal, it would be obviously one of our biggest decisions ever is who we choose as partners and who we choose to coexist with, right? But I mean, it's more than that. Like one of the biggest decisions ever is like living your truth. Everybody has been saying, Rachelle, you're so brave. And I'm like, for what? Like, what did I do? And they're like, you left. Like you are living your truth. Like you are. And I'm just like, but I don't feel brave. I feel like it was scarier for me to stay there once I had the awareness of why I felt the way I did and why things were not, working, I can say for me, a lot of times when people think or see that there's like not any abuse or, cheating or infidelity, that, why can't you be together? Like you have a kid together, like, what are you doing? But I will say to that, the importance of any relationship, regardless of relationship dynamics, has to do with compatibility. I couldn't be compatible with something or with someone if I was like, I was in the whole wrong classroom. Like, no, I was in the wrong district, not the wrong school, not the wrong classroom. Like I was way off base, like, and great guy, great father. And yet, it's not working. I would say, looking back, even if I was not now a lesbian, like we were not compatible. Like we've joked about it, actually, because it's like, I should have known the moment we got in the car when we were dating and he didn't like the windows down. Like that fully bothered him. I should have known at that moment that we were not compatible. And yet it took me a long time to get to where I am now. I mean, you got to think about it. Like we have right now, we have like obviously hard time for everybody. Just crazy crap is happening. The economy is shit. Rent is astronomical. Like all the things. Why would you like leave in a recession? Why would you leave and become a single mom in a recession? And like I've had all the questions, but like, I think what I went through with my mom, caregiving for her, like I came out of this after she passed and I'm like, I'm ready to freaking live. Like I'm ready to do stuff. I'm ready to have fun again, whether I have $5 or $500,000. I want to have fun. I want to live, right? And, I was unable to do that in my previous relationship. And that all comes down to, again, compatibility. I had other signs. There were others. I will say, though, my ex really did give me space to really find out who I was and what I wanted, you know, as a partner, because I knew I was bisexual, but you know, had he not given me the freedom to like really just lean into that, I wouldn't even really know, right? I mean, if you go back a few episodes, it was one of the first episodes I did, I believe, with Kylie Hammond. We kind of talked about, you know, deconstruction from Christianity and religion. And I had mentioned briefly that I had gone through a mini conversion therapy, you know, where, you know, people pray over you to ungay you and all the things. I mean, I did the whole gamut. I, you know, go into it just a teeny bit on that episode. So go back and listen to that. But, you know, at that moment is when I declined who I was. Like I suppressed that for years. So how the hell did I get here? Right. I had a friend reach out to me on TikTok and was like, "Hey sis, like, how you doing? What's new?" And I sent her a message. I replied, I was just like, "Hey girl, I'm settling into my new place, adjusting to co-parenting, and I came out," or something like that. It was just like this hella packed sentence with just like the most recent main events of my life. And she was like, "Whew, you said a lot in that sentence." I was like, "Yeah, I know. But I mean, that's where I'm at." So I've had experiences with women. You know, you see on TikTok, right? I'm so thankful for TikTok. I don't feel alone. Like I'm not the only one that has been in a relationship with, you know, the opposite sex, and the whole time I was gay, right? So going and listening to their stories and them sharing their journeys have been so helpful, because my family is fully like homophobic for the most part. And when I mean like my dad, and you know, if you would have told me maybe like a year ago that I would be like divorced, I moved into a new place and like came out, like I would have told you like, that's what I want, but I can't see it yet. Like I couldn't see that happening, you know? So like how it happened, because like I said, I've had experiences with women before, like in college. Oh man, if I was out in college, oh my God, I would. Okay. So back to where I was. I was reading a book. If you've not checked out Untamed by Glennon Doyle, go do it when you have time. I don't have an Audible sponsorship yet, so I'm just gonna say go to your local library. But yeah, I read the book and I got to the part to where Glennon was talking about like leaving her husband and like her Abby moment. And I remember throwing the book because I remember feeling like, oh my God, like I want this, but I'm so angry that I'm aware that I want this. And I'm so angry that I want this and I can't have it right this very moment. Like I want that instant gratification. Like I have to go through all this pain to freaking get there, right? To get to what I want, like breaking up, Well, let me back up. The book was amazing, beautifully written, very candid, very, it was for the girlies. It was for us. It was for, you know, the ex-Christian girlies too, because, you know, if you know anything about Glenn and her background, you know, heavily involved in the faith community. And, you know, so it was a big deal for her And I love the way they're like just out about their love. It's beautiful. Anyways, read the book, threw it, got mad. Like, how do I even make plans for something like this? Well, I put the book down. A few months later passed by. My mom passes like later that year. So when I picked it back up to read, and I don't remember like the exact sequences. I bet I have the receipts in my screenshots though, because it was like one of those where you highlighted and screenshotted and. But I remember her like talking about divorce in such a different way than I had ever heard about divorce before. Because for me, divorce was restraining order. Like it was chaos. It was crazy. It was, battered woman shelter. Like I had a very traumatic, experience around divorce. So when it came to this, I was like, man, like I lost my mom and now I'm about to have like lose my relationship of all this time, But I read the book. She talked about divorce. She talked about, her kids and how they like, kind of made it through. She talked about how, okay, I don't want to give away Glennon's book, y'all. Go get the book. Okay. But what happened to me, for me, when I read it was, I was like, man, Glennon is a very sensitive being. I identify with her in a lot of different ways, feeling deeply, all those things, right? So, like, I'm about to experience this heartbreak. And then, your heart kind of breaks more when your child is like grieving, right? So it's just like, just give it the triple threat, give it the triple threat, and, but it's been beautiful, actually. It's been a beautiful transition, Unbeknownst to me, I didn't know that it can happen like this. The book helped me see that, and some TikTok videos. It gave me hope about being able to move in that direction and still be okay mentally. Because, God dang, like, it's already crazy outside. Like life be lifing. I'm really not trying to add a whole bunch of stuff in the mix, but that's how I knew that I knew because it was like, it wasn't an option, I remember feeling like a dead flower. I even said that, and then I was on Oprah's Instagram, Oprah Daily Instagram, and it was like the front of the magazine, and it was a dead flower, and it read, how I knew my marriage was over. And I was like, holy shit, that's me. Like that's me. Like if I was in like plant form, like that's what I would look like. And it made me so sad. I was like, this needs to be blooming season. Like I can't feel like this anymore. And so I literally, I wanted to be available for love, the possibility of love with a woman. And I couldn't do that inside of my marriage. And I didn't want to be miserable anymore either. So the importance of having compatibility. I can't even say like what we were taught about, marriage and relationships and how much that ties into what we ignore, when we're getting information about somebody we're looking to, possibly be with. So the book helped me, right? Realized I was a lesbian, realized that, my son is going to be okay. And I can come out and, like keep going. Like it's not the end. I will say dating women is everything. 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 But that's not why I'm here. I like my new house. Having my own space has been great. One of the incompatibilities that we had was minimalist and maximalist. That, yeah. there was a lot of other, I mean, obviously, if I'm a lesbian, then there's sexual incompatibility, which, I mean, based on the response from, the episode with Katasha Gordon, I feel like there's a lot of us out here that did that. A lot of us out here that chose the paths that people like made for us instead of the ones that we like find out on our own based on what we want and what we like, you know? So yeah, hell of an update. Thank you. I will see you on the next episode. No, I'm not gone yet. But really, like, yeah, it's been wild. Like, I'm talking, I literally asked for a divorce, put my house on the market, sold it, moved into a new house in 60 days. Like, when I think about that shit, that is so wild. But it's like when you know that you know that you know, right? It's like, there's nothing to think about. Like, what are my next steps? Like, I fully turned into project manager and was like, step one, like, and that's how I got through the process. It was hard as hell. Like, this market is crazy for houses and all the showings with 2 dogs and monsoons outside daily, like trying to keep it in, tip-top shape for showings. And it was just wild. But like I said, the universe like really came through with the support, and I'm just super thankful. So thankful. I went to my first Pride event. That was neat. Definitely had a different meaning for me, anyways. I also saw Kayla Nicole. I don't know if y'all know who she is, but she's like a content creator. She got real popular during the pandemic. She's really young. I think she's like 22. And she's on the song Sneaky Link, I believe. But anyways, she went through a divorce, and she came on Instagram and was like, okay, y'all, I'm getting a divorce. I feel like my marriage wasn't private, so I'm not going to be private with y'all about this. And, which I thought was fine. I actually think that we shouldn't be as private as we are about divorce, because it's nothing to be ashamed of. And like, we're so hush hush about it. People are hella weird about divorce, y'all. Like, I'm saying, like, you'll be like, I'm getting a divorce. They'll be like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm going to pray for you. Like, no, you're not. And like, nobody ever asked, was I happy? They were just concerned about like the status of me being married and not, quote unquote, giving up on us. And it's like, nobody ever asked me if I was happy, not once. So that lets me know that, one, people think they know what's best for you. And two, they definitely, like, the people that are concerned about that, may not have your best interest at heart. I mean, their ego's in the way. So, it's just a lot of different little things when you're navigating it. People in denial, people grieving about your relationship. Like, it's weird. Anyhow, I've had some space to process and things like that. And Kayla Nicole actually talked about this, I believe, on her TikTok. Maybe it was her Instagram. I don't quite remember. But she was like, yeah, I'm getting a divorce and my husband has the kids. I'm taking some time to heal. And I love that, because yes, sis, take your breaks. 1, and 2, like, can more of us get them, right? I have one. I'm currently on break, child free, and I love it here. I love it here. Yeah, I'm sorry. But no, I love my baby, but man, this break has been amazing, It's been amazing. So she talked about wanting a break and needing a break and taking a break. And I love that for her. She was only married 2 years. So if we were calculating like PTO, like based on seniority, I was married 11.5 years. together for 12.5. So I should have like how much cumulative time off to be child free. But no, really, like the break is everything. Because when you have in the fields, your needs aren't being met and all that, you're irritable as fuck. Like, I'm irritable. How can I parent like that? But women are often the people that need to heal from divorce. Like, men just kind of keep going. Like, it's nothing. I'm going to work tomorrow. So, mom break without the mom guilt. That's what we're doing over here. I do still see my son. We talk on FaceTime. It's like talking to a lab with a GoPro on, like, but it's beautiful. He's transitioning well. He's settling in. He's adjusting. And he's fine. He's fine. Like the babies are fine. It's the adults. So it's been a beautiful transition. I'm still currently transitioning. But it's very amicable. And I can't imagine, it's been hard, in some ways. I can't imagine people that have to go through divorce with, when things are toxic and not amicable. Like that just, whew. But things are amicable and I'm proud of myself. Like I haven't like lived on my own, like by myself since I was like 24. I'm about to turn 36 next month. So I'm ready for it, like I'm ready for embracing myself. I'm ready for love on this side of the coin because, and I have made it to the gay side of TikTok and it's great. Like WLW side of TikTok is everything. The girlies are very well nourished and it's beautiful. So I'm sure I'll have a lot of, well, let me not speak ahead of time. Let me not. Yeah. So, I mean, breakups no matter what, if you've decided that you're done, even if you're taking the steps, there is grief involved. There's grief involved. Like my whole everyday routine has changed. Like, oh my gosh, like leaving the house, changing your environment, it's so many adjustments, but I'm excited about living my truth and not denying myself anymore what I really want and deserve. And I guess, like I can't blame everything on my ex-partner. I mean, I was fully gay. Like if I'm gay, if I'm a lesbian, like how can you know what I mean? So I guess it was just like me, old Christian programming, old compulsive heteronormative programming. Like this is what it looks like, but I'm past that. And I'm so glad, even though I'm a late bloomer, that it didn't happen like later in life because I'm ready now, And when you're ready now, it's like when you make your mind up, you set the intention behind it. It's like, okay, what steps do I need to take to get to where I want to be? And that's really how I approached it. There wasn't any magic behind it. I didn't have any money. I was broke as a joke, y'all. But I knew that, and I think too, if I wasn't so broke, I probably would have been too comfortable to leave. So it was just like, I was so uncomfortable that I just, I went with it. But anyways, full 180, gay side of TikTok, loving it here, having boundaries with family members. And it's been great. I definitely have fears about certain things, but I have a lot of strong women in my life as examples. And it's like when I get, deflated, like turn to them and be like, they doing it. I can do this too. So it's been a beautiful transition. I think some of the biggest lessons I've learned have been, I'm not too hard to love. Do you know how long I believed that? Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Like Because really, you're not going to be too hard to love with the right person. Y'all know I told y'all I'm a big feeler. I feel things intensely, deeply. I cry a lot, but I also laugh a lot. You won't be too hard to love with the right person. And even though I feel too much, it's not going to be too much for the right person. I'm also learning how to trust myself and what I feel and know without the validation of others in a way that I haven't before. Because I feel like you learn that with parenting, like, you know, the mama bear thing kicks in and things like that. But like, I don't know, this is on another level, I feel like. Hey, Rachelle, meet Rachelle. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh shit, I'm gay. Like I had that moment, you know? Like, oh, I want a divorce. Like, I'm ready to, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, lots of changes in my life. So just know that I'm not going anywhere. I enjoy being here on this podcast and doing this. And I'm planning to do more. So y'all stick around. Also, if you're not following me on social, please go follow me at Rachelle Leanne everywhere, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and Threads, because, you know, I'm there too. I don't know. We're gonna see. And then also, if you could leave me a review if you're enjoying this, it helps others to find it. And really, like, if y'all could cheerlead for me too, that would be great. So yeah, those are my thoughts about breaking up, divorce, and coming out. Thanks for hanging out. Thoughts About That was brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.